St. Paul Parks and Recreation. Parks and Recreation have a long and successful history here in St. Paul. But how does this system look today? Do the Parks and Recreation follow the laws of this system? And does this system follow the very values that Parks and Rec were founded upon? St. Paul Parks and Rec were born out of the Progressive Movement between 1890 and 1920. Following the ideas of Hull House in Chicago, St. Paul progressives created settlement houses. These settlement houses were placed in the worst areas of St. Paul economically. In the slums, they were crowded with immigrants. Settlement workers were trying to stop poverty and bridge the gap between classes. Alongside the settlement house movement, the playground movement was acting as a way that anyone could have a safe place to go and spend their time. After economic issues, in 2008, they decided to put into place the system plan. To make them economically viable, they decided to make them 21st century parks. Among other things, a 21st century park relies on non-profit partnerships. Partners were expected to staff the park, pay for the utilities, and provide services for the community. Another part of this plan is to provide fewer, better parks. This led us to some questions like, what parks were being shut down? And also, how does this partnership system work? And is it being held up on both ends like it should be? We found these 3 community centers were the most likely to be removed. These places also had some of the lowest incomes in the city. For example, the area around Eastview had a median income of $41,000, and the area around Marguerite only $26,000. Meanwhile, the area around the Highland Park Community Center, which was recently renovated, is making $74,000 a year. Highland is a safe community with parks on top of parks on top of parks. This is the Highland Community Center. It is one of the few parks that remain unrepartnered. It is a place where anyone can go, be safe, have fun, and be warm. It even has crafts rooms and birthday parties. Meanwhile, at Eastview, the story is a little different. Upon arrival, we are shocked to find this sign attached to the door. We went in anyways. Once inside, we met the president of Twin Cities Barbell, Roger Sadisky. They are a partner with Parks and Recreation, and he was happy to answer all my questions. He said the city cares more about the bottom line than getting kids off the street. He reminisced of a time a few years ago when the facilities were filled with kids. Kids would come there for a hot meal once a day and to participate in hockey tournaments. Kids who came there every day even painted a mural of the Vikings. These partners have no way of paying for the utilities they're supposed to under this new plan. But they can't leave because if they do, then the entire structure will be taken down. At Margaret, things are looking even more bleak. They have made good on their word, and they have completely demolished the building that used to hold the rec center. And how do they justify doing this? It'll provide more access to natural, open spaces. They have proven they do not value their Parks and Recreation, as they are trying to get rid of it in any way possible, whether it be by demolishing or by repartnering, which is essentially giving over an old building that you can't afford to somebody else, and then holding them to strict terms they have no way of keeping. Though they cannot actually sell or get rid of any park land because of the zero-sum land law, they are trying to lose all accountability for it. And this is at the expense of a place where people can go and partake in activities in a safe environment, which is something indispensable in some of these neighborhoods.